Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm here in Dallas. It is sunny and warm. Unlike New York in October, it is actually kind of hot here. It's like 82 or something. I'm on my way to eat a giant burrito, and I'll film that. But more importantly, I have a lot of things to talk about in terms of the new ideas of where the channel is going in terms of these kind of poorly edited or low edited, low production value kind of videos that I've been making. I kind of get a weird feeling like I'm being watched. You ever get a feeling like that? Like, can't quite place it. It's like I have Sauron kind of feeling, like somebody's looking for you, or looking at you, or around you. I don't know, kind of a creepy feeling. But anyway, welcome to Dallas. Time to go get a burrito the size of my head, and then we'll continue the conversation. Okay, 3 things to talk about in this video. First, I wish that the Nashville trip had won out, but it's nice to be back in Dallas, that kind of close to where I used to live. I grew up in Fort Worth, a lot of you might not know that, which is only about 40 minutes west of here. So that's the first thing. The second thing is last night, talking to my former graduate student on the phone who teaches in Cape Cod. Shout out to Vasquez, if he's watching. He asked a great question. What should the classroom be like for students? And I have not been able to stop thinking about that question and everything that comes with, like, idealistically, practices, the threats that are coming from the new economic order, the threats that are coming to the way we've traditionally done things. And then the final question is the question my cab driver asked me, which is, what's a sign of a really great student? And what's the most difficult thing that you have been through a student with? And that's really interesting phrasing. So those are the things we have to address. That's probably going to be more than one video, if I'm being honest. I do like to talk. But Dallas is really nice, isn't it? Look at all this light. And of course I put it behind me, so I'm really, backlit, but hopefully it's not making you click away. Okay, well, right now it is, in the shade here. Thank you, Dallas, for putting Peter Gabriel in my head for the rest of the day. This is a very, very exciting development of an accidental development of the trip to Dallas is it's really happening. Okay, we have our giant burrito. So now it's time to eat here. Freebird's one of my favorite places to eat. You might not know that. I don't think I've ever done a vlog from there. But this is an amazing place. Right here, it was only like a 10-minute walk from the hotel. So I'm obviously going to be about 450 pounds when I come back to New York. So I'm going to eat here as many times as I can. It's a lot of good memories. But I'm going to eat here first and then maybe talk about some of those ideas on the way back. Or maybe if it's quieter in here, talk about some of those ideas here. We'll see. It probably won't be. It's lunchtime. So on this question about what the classroom should be like, it's a begged question. Maybe the classroom shouldn't be like anything. I think I'm gonna have to do a number of videos about this question because I think it just really cuts to the center of something I've been trying to get to for a long time. The best I can do right now of what the classroom should be like, it should be like a place where you can take any mundane question about life or the world and go 3 levels deeper on that question than you could outside the classroom, like in daily life. Anything at all. We parse our classrooms by topic. So in a class about chemistry, it would be very different than a class about poetry, but that principle would still be there. You can ask those questions and then maybe steer them towards the way a chemist would talk, the way a poet or a scholar of poetry would talk. Maybe there's some steering involved. So 2 or 3 levels deeper, and then a little bit of steering to say, how would someone who's in this profession that we're studying, or in this scholarly field, an academic or intellectual, how would they ask the question? So a little guidance and a little depth, and that's a classroom. or that should be a classroom. I guess the question is a little normative. The way the classrooms are is I think they're places where work is doled out and work is graded and evaluated. They're not very friendly or open places at all, for the most part. So questioning and steering is the best answer I can give at 1 in the afternoon after eating a giant burrito. Maybe I should have timed this vlog a little differently. So I thought this park would be a good place to finish off the video for today. It's really nice. Lots of birds. It's like a huge bird bath. I know it's not meant to be that, but that's what the birds think it's for them. Just like I might think it's for me. It's like perfect for my videos. So the birds and I have something in common. So at lunch I kind of answered that question. What should the classroom be like? Maybe the metaphor is the begged question. Begged question is productive rhetorically there. But now the other question is, what makes a student good, or what do you look for in a student? My taxi driver from the airport was like, oh, you're a teacher? Let me ask you 2 questions. What does a teacher look for in a student that makes them good? What do you look for in a student? I mean, the implied is that makes it a good student. What do you look for? And I said questioning, at least asking a ton of questions. But they have to be relevant questions. Questions about the course or what's expected of me. Questions that indicate to me that this person is like, oh yeah, this isn't about you, professor. This is about me and what I can get out of this course, and I want to make sure I'm doing what it is I need to do to get that. And if I'm not, or if there's a gap there, then I expect to be told or to let me know what it is I need to do. And I'm not afraid to ask those questions because this course is about me, not about you. And I think that is something you look for. It's also a mark of a very bad teacher, or a green teacher maybe, or a teacher who's watched too many made-for-TV movies about teaching or bad films about teaching, where the teacher gets nervous or says no more questions, or God, you ask annoying questions. This is a teacher who thinks it is about them and that they're the center of the classroom. The classroom really should be de-centered, or the center should be mobile. It should be rhizomatic, popping up here and there with an undercurrent of questioning. What is it that we're doing? Why are we supposed to be doing this? What's the value of this? Why are we reading this thing? What's the point? What should I have gotten out of that? All these things I think make for very good student behavior. The other one is that he asked us, what's the most difficult thing you've been through with a student? And I thought about the fights I broke up as a high school teacher, you know, here and there. Nothing at the time really, you know, eye-opening to me because I was such a good kid in high school. But since then, I'm trying to think. I remember 2 incidents that I thought were tough. One was a student who had been passed through on all their grades where I went to grad school and was so severely dyslexic, couldn't even write a paragraph. But he'd been given all these grades. He was a football player. And he'd been given all these grades by their faculty members, and I called the athletic department and said, look, I don't know what to do here. This guy, obviously, he's functionally illiterate. Let's get him tested. Let's see what can be done for him. And it was just very sad to see that he had been ignored and not treated well by previous professors who just kind of sent him through it, or whatever happened there. I'm not going to speculate, but I feel like sometimes students are sent through with good intentions. Oh, it's too late for them. They just need a degree and they can work. But I really feel like literacy is key to participating in democratic society. You really need it to be a good member. But the biggest thing, hands down, the hardest thing I've been through with students was the COVID-19 pandemic. It's not over yet, but it's we're a lot better off than we were. And I think that the lockdown was really hard. Trying to get students, I had trouble believing what I was teaching was important or valuable when they're like, oh, my grandmother's about to die, or my grandfather just died, or my parents are in the ICU and I'm taking care of my 2-year-old little sister at home alone in the lockdown. Can I have 3 days extension on that paper? And I was just like, look, you can turn the paper in whenever. It's totally fine. So, yeah, that was the hardest thing I've ever been through with students. And I don't think the issue is, did our standards go down? It was unprecedented. I don't think you can say the standards went down because there's nothing to compare it to. But what are the long-term effects on higher education from the lockdown, from the pandemic? We won't know probably for another 10 years what actually transpired among those students. We just won't have the research data to be able to judge one way or the other. So those are the three big questions on my mind the past 24 hours. Now I'm going to go have some drinks at the bar and enjoy the evening here in Dallas. It's quite a lovely sunset. And these fine feathered friends are enjoying a drink at their bar here in downtown Dallas. Let me know what you think of my replies to those questions, and more to come as always.